and welcome to the Christchurch Cooking Show. My name is Emily Kenyon, and today we will be making our very own special recipe of communion bread. The ingredients are 4 cups of whole wheat flour, 2 teaspoons of salt, 4 teaspoons baking powder, half a cup honey, half a cup vegetable oil, 3/4 a cup whole milk, and 3/4 a cup hot water. First, you mix the dry ingredients together. We've got the flour, the baking powder, and the salt. And then we just mix it all together until it's combined. I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees, so next we're going to mix all the wet ingredients together. So you got the water, the oil, the honey. It's going to be a little bit thick, so we use the spatula. And then the milk. And you're just going to briefly whisk these all together to combine, and then we're ready to mix it into the dry ingredients. So we're going to pour the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients, and then we're just going to stir it. Just mix it up so that we can get all nice together. You don't want to overmix it, so just until you incorporate all the flour and the wet ingredients together. As you can see, it's going to be a sticky dough. It's not going to stretch. That's okay. That's ready to go. It's got everything all incorporated into it. So we're just going to turn it out over onto the counter now. So we've put the dough out onto a lightly floured work surface and mostly rolled it out now. We kneaded it a couple times just over back on itself. You don't want to overwork the dough because the dough is not very strong. It doesn't have any leavening agent in it. That's fine. So then you roll it out to 3/16 of an inch. I have a ruler right here to check myself. Looks about right. Alright, and then you're going to fold the dough back on itself so that whenever it cooks, and you can pull the bread apart. It becomes a nice pull apart bread. Alright, here's your dough. It is ready to cut into any shape you want. We're going to cut the dough into rounds. I have the top of a big jar right here to use. So just... Alright, the last thing that we're going to do is make an X in every little dough, or a cross mark, whichever you prefer. Alright, and here are our individual communion breads. Looks like our communion bread is ready. You're just going to transfer it over onto a rack, cool it for an hour, and then you are free to freeze it. Let's break bread, people!